Now, people are figuring out in mass what I'm telling you about the supply and demand principles and how there's no justifiable reason in the world why everybody on earth cannot, in this day and age, with industrialization, mechanization, automation, all these things that have made it so easy to produce our needs, why everybody in the world can't live in security, in prosperity, and peace. Okay, there's no reason. There's no reason in the world. These things, these problems are invented through financial tyranny, through an imposed fear. It is the reverence that's extracted from us by these people through financial insecurity. They invent the problems. If you took away that one simple problem of intentional impoverishment of the people of Earth, then you'd see there'd be no support for the wars. It'd be very hard to get people to want to go to war when they didn't need any money. They didn't need anybody to pay them to go to war. The only thing that would compel them to go to war was because they really believed in the cause. So they would have to go for free to fight a very just cause. And it's not easy to get people to want to kill each other. Typical normal people do not want to do that, nor do they want to put their lives in danger for an unworthy cause. But if they're compelled because they're scared, they're financially insecure, it's much easier to get them to do it. And the crime, it's the same thing. You got the mainstream media out there telling you, they're happy to report on the crimes that are being committed, all these horrible violent crimes involving guns and knives and homicides right and left, all these terrible crimes out there that are being committed. And that's job security for them. They've got something to do. They're rendered relevant because of the crime. If you took away the crime, these people might be out of a job. So again, if you took away the poverty, most all the crimes which are committed because of financial insecurity, fear, financial desperation, then these people's jobs would be in jeopardy. This is a very serious matter, okay? And I know what I'm talking about. So you've got to understand that the problems are maintained intentionally by these top guys out there that are doing this to us. They know what they're doing. They have intentionally impoverished the people. So these people know that eventually the masses are going to figure it out. We've got the internet out there. We've got all these wise people teaching us out there about economics and the importance of understanding economics. Like Jesus said, he said this is the root of not some of the evil, it's the root of all of the evil, is this love of money. Money gives you an advantage if you have it. You have a distinct disadvantage if you don't have it. And this is the cause of all the problems. Okay, even nuanced issues that we have, societal issues that need to be confronted, like abortion. You got to wonder what is weighing on a woman's mind when she decides to destroy the life growing inside her. Okay, she's scared. She's financially insecure. Maybe she's been taught that it's wrong to go and seek help and to go on the dole with the welfare or something like that, and to get help from society, the community. So she believes that the best thing she could do is just get rid of the baby. And she doesn't want to foster it out. Maybe she thinks that'd be too hard on her emotionally to know that this child was raised by somebody else. But whatever her reasons, it all comes down to money, the prostitution, people losing their life savings in gambling debt, the drugs. What compels people to want to use drugs? What compels people to turn to alcohol? What compels people to slit their wrists? What compels people to do these things? It's the money. It's this fear that the God of this world has instilled in us through this means, this magic means of money. It's a very sordid thing, and we all need to really understand the gravity. This is a very serious issue that we need to be very sober-minded, introspective about, and really talk to each other in that manner, in that regard. And we need to be very coherent when we talk to each other about these matters, and very serious, and demand change, because the amount of tyranny we live under, like it's been said, I believe it was Thomas Jefferson or Thomas Paine, one of them said that the exact amount of tyranny we live under will be the amount of tyranny we accept. So there's no just, hey, don't worry about it, Jesus is coming and everything will be good then. No, because we as believers, as those that stand up for righteousness and justice and all good things, and fairness and freedom and liberty, all good things, we are servants of God, whether we know it or not. If you stand for truth and righteousness and decency and fairness, you are God's hands and feet, eyes and ears on the ground. So it's up to us to confront the evildoers of this world and to lay down the law and set them straight, because they're the ones that are wrong, we're the ones that are right, and we have an obligation, a duty. And if we are ever to attain true happiness, we're not going to do it by shrinking away from controversy. We're going to do it by giving a damn. That is loving one another. How else do you love one another except by caring about each other, giving a damn? So while your life might be very comfortable, you might have a nice portfolio, you might have worldly security, but just remember, it can be taken from you just like anybody else, and you can be out there too. So you might someday really understand. It might take a catastrophic worldwide event like a meteor shower that just destroys most of the earth and destroys the technology. Who knows what it's going to take? But there may be a day when you find out that you're not so different from that poor man or woman out on the street in the cold, okay, which is criminal. And I would remind everybody out there that economic problems are never the fault of the poor. And the way that they're being persecuted just makes me outraged. I see what's happening all over California here with these sit-lie laws that are unconstitutional. It's persecution. It's open persecution of these people. And remember, these aren't criminals. If these were criminals, they would be in jail, where they would, at the cost to the taxpayers over $50,000 a year, they would get free rent, free food, free utilities, free education, free health care, and they get assistance in reintegrating into society. So they get mollycoddled by the system if they're the bad guys, because of course they're criminals, so they're supporting the system inadvertently. Not that they were trying to put the police department to work, or put the judges to work, or the clerks in the court, or the jailers, or the attorneys, but because they were desperate and they did something stupid, now they're in the system, and that's what they're costing us. These are the criminals. They're safe and sound in the jails. So just remember that, folks. Now, the only way you could blame the poor is if they were lazy, okay? In which case I would support you, because there's a passage in Scripture that says that if a man isn't willing to work, he shouldn't eat. Now, whatever that work may be, you only should have to justify that to God, because maybe you're a sage, maybe you're a poet, maybe you do other things in service to God and man that are far more important than digging ditches. But the point is that that's up to you and your conscience, your connection to God. I can't judge you on whether you're lazy or not. That's up to you. If you feel lazy and you feel like you want to do more for humanity, then do it. Do whatever God puts on your heart. Whatever those talents you have that you can use, do them. And if you want to do something else, do that. You can do different things whenever you feel like. You should be free. The only one that you should have reverence for and fear is God's opinion of you. That's it. Just care about that. We shouldn't have to walk around our whole lives in fear of these people. How much time do every one of us spend every day thinking about money? It's, we giving it our affection. Oh, thank God, you know what I mean? We got checks in the mail. And you know what I mean? I mean, I do the same thing. I see it in myself. But at least I can look at it from a vantage point that's inspired from above. I mean, I do thank God for the security that I have. I want to pay my bills. I want to survive just like you do. So it's not abnormal. God knows we have needs, but he wants us to turn to him for needs. We shouldn't have to fear this system, this phony, fabricated charade that is really the basis for our reality. Okay? That's what I'm trying to get across to people. And it's a very serious matter because we're in it deep. At this point in time, it's really inexcusable. Okay? Because knowledge has been so greatly increased on the earth, and people should know right from wrong, and often they do, but they just decide to do wrong. So now what these people have interjected in the last decade or so is this idea that human activity on the earth is destroying the planet.